chills just thinking about it again. It was so beautiful, and you guys have really created a special community here. And like, as someone not from Puerto Rico, like it's just really incredible to see how many different kinds of people are part of that community that you've created too.
I want to be that strong. I want to move. Like, it was like a gift for me to be a mover and to feel strong. It was really easy for me to be like an athlete when I was a kid, but I never had the opportunity to be like a dancer or be in a sport. And I want to encourage people to move, to explore not only their body but their like sensuality, their power, their strength, like how they feel about themselves, and just explore with curiosity and have fun.
Engaging people in conversations about topics that are really challenging, and not just intimate violence, but intimacy in general. What does it mean to connect, right? Like, how can we keep each other safe in that and honor the vulnerability that is involved, and just showing up as yourself in expressing, in relating to people, always.
Start. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Let's introduce ourselves so the audience knows who you are, what you're up to, where you're from. Okay. Tell us your story.
So my name's Esmi, and I am a multidisciplinary artist, an astrologer, and I identify as a raccoon. So yeah, I've been living in Puerto Rico for 15 months. I've been really grateful every day living here, making really wonderful friends and community and connection, and really stepping into making and sharing more art. So,
awesome.
Yeah, I think that covers it.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Thanks for coming.
My name is Hilary. I am a mover. I'm a performer. I've been practicing pole dancing for 3 years now. And I'm also a stripper, and I'm a therapist. So I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But basically, I've been working hard in the last year with a collective with 4 friends. We are also a pole dancer, a stripper, and performers. So that's the project I'm working really hard right now. And I'm just sharing my knowledge with other people in Puerto Rico too. So we teach pole dancing, and we teach just mobility and workshops with floor work, and embracing all the feminine energy that we have, and how to explore through that to like healing and becoming more powerful in all aspects. So yes, that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Sharing together as a mover now.
Okay. And where are you teaching classes?
So right now I'm teaching private in my own home studio, and we also rent some spaces that we can teach like community classes and group classes. But at this point we're working really hard to find a studio so we can open our own studio. That's on the plan for this year. Hopefully we're working really hard with the collective Las Libertas. And so that's our next step this year.
Okay, awesome. So tell me a little bit about how y'all met.
I
And
was like, I just can't wait. I need to tell the story.
Yes.
So I'm also a yoga teacher, but had some resistance about stepping back into teaching, and then I showed up to Ashtanga Yoga Studio down the street here, and I saw that they were that Hilary was teaching a pole dancing class, did not know Hilary yet, and was like, here we go. Basically, first time on a pole, showed up. We immediately connected, and I just kept showing up to, you were teaching some like group pole classes at the yoga studio, and then had the immense privilege of getting to dance with you in your home studio. And Hilary is so supportive of like my own movement practice and my own movement style, and is such a brilliant teacher and friend, and just really like, both as a friend and a teacher, I feel like you really support people to just like show up with all of themselves and like creatively express your fullness and to feel like proud of it. And I felt really supported in that way as like your student and as your friend. And then we like moved together and yeah, so that's our meet cute.
Love it. Okay.
And wow, what else? I actually just want to plug Las Libertas again because they're so brilliant, and they just had their year anniversary recital this week. It was incredible. We're talking 4 incredible movers, athletes, dancers on one pole.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Like chills just thinking about it again. It was so beautiful, and you guys have really created a special community here. And like as someone not from Puerto Rico, like it's just really incredible to see how many different kinds of people are part of that community that you've created too, and to feel welcome in that as well. So
yeah, so I remember that weekend that we met, that was teaching. We had like the week next, we have like a recital, and I invite her, and then she was like, oh, I love it. Actually, I have a project in mind that I want to do there in the same place in Publica. It's like a cultural space that we have our 4th recital. Because part of the things that we have done as collective is that we create our own events. So we produce it, and we like direct, and we do the lights, the music, like everything. Now we have a saxophonist that working with us, and he does like their own tracks like based on us. So we have original Fra Colon, he does the original music for us. And she was like, I love that place, like I have a project that I would like to share with you about Medusa. And that was like the week after we met.
And was it that fast?
Yes.
But you were so open to it. Yeah, okay. Well, I want to say a little bit more about that first show. I can't believe I forgot that. I didn't. It lives deep inside of me. That show was amazing. It was at Publica Espacio, which is here in Santurce. It's an amazing space. They have Cocina Publica in the back, this beautiful restaurant, and then like this big open gallery space, and then this like couple rooms. And that show was incredible. It was Las Libertas and Luis Fra on saxophone. Yeah, live music. It was magical. And yeah, before I came to that show, I had been thinking about this Medusa project called Medusa Tambien Ama, Medusa Also Loves, and I like even had the title. I guess I can jump into talking about that, but it's crazy to remember that like just a week after we met, I like showed up and was like, hey, do you want to move in this project? And you were like, yeah. So yeah, I guess I can speak about that for a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So before I left New York, which is where I moved here from, I was involved in like a BDSM community, doing some like shibari with this really beautiful collective called the Hit Me Up community in New York. And when I came here, I kind of like missed that community and that practice. And I guess, trigger warning, I came here and, you know, was recommended working with someone here doing some shibari, and it ended up just being like not a safe play experience, and like some non-consensual things happened, which left me feeling kind of devastated and like really shut down personally and creatively in December, and still like really forming community here, and living alone, and I was reading a lot about Medusa at the time. I'm an astrologer, so always like immersing myself in mythology. And I had a series of dreams. I know, sounds... but also, listen to your dreams. It's real, right? Like, and find people who won't be like, oh, okay, you heard that in a dream. They'll be like, you heard that in a dream? Yes. Go forth. And so... I'm also a jazz singer, which was like something I was doing a lot in New York, and I kind of had to break up with New York and break up with some jazz boys, and I started producing my own music in Ableton.
Nice.
Yeah, this fall, and so all this was happening simultaneously, right? Like that difficult experience reading about Medusa and then making music with Ableton, and so the project just started to materialize, and I felt like I was really drawn out of the cave that I found myself in December by meeting people like you, like literally in January, February, and my friendships here, and yeah.
So, okay, when you met her, what made you want to do this project with her?
Well, we immediately were communicating about movement, and I think that energy of feeling supported in my own movement style as sometimes a mover who is grappling with being in their body through movement, and to feel supported in that way, and just there was such a diverse group of people in your pole class, like people of all ages, people of all gender identities. Like I was like, this person really gets it, and people feel safe moving with you. So and I'm gonna pass it to you.
Yes, and when she started to talk me more about Medusa, and I learned all the stories, and I feel very like identified with Medusa woman, like that person, and we start to talk more about Medusa, and we start to develop like more intimacy about our experiences, and we connect. Like I feel like I had been Medusa before too, so I think that will be a really experience to embody that energy and release and be like liberate myself, because this is a little bit crazy too. But that month I had my tarot reading, and I was thinking about, hey, how should I talk about this topic that I never feel like free to like express it? And my tarot reader was like, maybe you should do like, you are an artist, you should do a performance like to express it. Yes. You should do like you could make art from it. And that month she told me about Medusa.
We haven't told this whole story.
Yes.
It's so sweet.
And I was like, yeah, I want to do that because I feel like Medusa resonates a lot with me, and all this energy that sometimes we don't know how to express or how to like embody, because it's not an energy that we talk about every day or you feel free to release. So yeah, I think Medusa Project is art, is freedom, is healing, and we're so happy about the results and the outcome. films.
Yeah.
So tell me what the Medusa Project is,
How
what it
it-
encompasses, so
yeah.
people can understand what to expect from that.
How it like really evolved, and it's still evolving. So I'm gonna tell like a little bit about who Medusa is for people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know Medusa.
Yeah.
We all kind of know Medusa, right? She has snakes growing out of her head, but the real mythology, which I dove into and then shared with Hilary and everyone involved with the project, is like she was actually just a girl before she was a gorgon with the snakes coming out of her head, and she was raped by Poseidon, right? So, you know, when we're talking about Medusa and, you know, expressing, we're talking about expressing around the topic of sexual and intimate violence, right? Which is something that is really complex to communicate about. So, like kind of forming a relationship with Medusa and that story to explore the theme of she gets punished by Athena and turned into the Gorgon. So she's like punished by a woman as well, right? It tells a really complex story around, you know, how we deal with intimate violence, and it's still super relevant, unfortunately. So how the project developed. Hilary was like, okay, let's get it going. I submitted a proposal to Publica. They said yes. I was like, okay, here we go. I had the music, and the vision was like this big, it was big, this installation where there would be people moving in the space. I would be performing and singing the kind of soundscape that I'd created, and maybe some people that Hilary introduced me to, like kind of, it all just unfolded. Who these wonderful people, Ivy and Camilia, who did a shibari performance, and then it was a whole community piece. I mean, I feel like there are almost too many names to name.
Wow.
But
that's amazing.
Yeah, it ended up
very interactive.
Yeah. So it ended up coming together in Publica just 2 weeks ago, the first week of May, and maybe more effective to just talk about how the vision actually, you know, manifested. But Hilary was on a pole, so beautiful, really, like, I feel like it was a cool opportunity for you to do like just more expressive, different kinds of movement, right? Not just like working or performing, but the whole idea was that we get to like inhabit this performance space. We're not like performing, we're experiencing, right? We get to like be with our emotional experience and express that rather than just be performing as much.
Okay.
And then there was the shibari performance, Ivy and Camilia, and then our friend Coral Silva also shot this incredible film of us, a group of 7 people that was projected on the wall where we were like nymphs over in Manatee. We did this photo shoot. I know, it's yeah, maybe you want to talk about that, because that's something that hopefully, you know, there will be more of with back to me. Okay, well, what is the Medusa Project? I think the Medusa Project is ever evolving, but it's definitely about, I think these like forming intimate relationships as a way of having kind of healing conversations about topics that are difficult to deal with. And maybe it won't always be called the Medusa Project. Maybe we'll dive into other mythology. But, you know, yeah, this was like my heart brainchild, but it really doesn't feel like mine, and I felt like that was really true through the whole experience, and the same way that I wouldn't have like made it out of my cave without these connections and friendship. Like, it didn't exist without like the whole community, the whole process. So there's too much to talk about with the Medusa.
Okay, so maybe
exhibit,
you can talk a little bit about how you got into pole and stripping and just movement and like all the things that you do. Like, where did you come from and how did you get there? There's like all this in between, you know?
Yes, well, I've been like growing up in all this like San Juan and with a lot of challenging, so it was really normal for me to like have strippers around and know about their life. I'm going to strip clubs to support her, or just I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be that strong. I want like to move. Like it was like a gift for me to be a mover and to feel strong. It was really easy for me to be like an athlete when I was a kid, but I never had the opportunity to be like a dancer or be in a sport. So when I went to college, I said like I want to be a cheerleader. So I was a cheerleader for 1 year, and then I learned judo for 5 years. So I was moving through, I was like studying and doing a lot of things, but it helped me to like get my degree and do my studies. Like my family always encouraged me. So when I was done and I finished my college and my master's degree, I went to Texas, and that was the first time I had like a job that I could like be independent and pay for classes to take pole dancing classes, because I tried before but I was doing too much and I couldn't like afford it. So when I was in Texas, I learned it and I was like, this is incredible. Like I make a connection with it like the same day. So I started learning, and then I moved to Puerto Rico again, and I was like, I want to do this, but I want to create a community. I want to keep like doing this with more people, and I want like more people can do it, because I know there's a lot of people out there that always like me wanted to do it, but they are like afraid, or they think like it's just for strippers or just for skinny people or just can't afford it. So when I came here, I was like doing my research, who is doing pole dancing here, who is teaching pole dancing here, where's the community, and then I found this 3 friends that they were learning like me, that were like basically with the fundamentals, and we were like, hey, let's help each others. And then we start teaching in a yoga and pole studio in Old San Juan. And then we create our own collective. And since that, we all of us are stripper also, because like it's just another word that empower us, and that's another topic that we can talk
maybe
after
part 2. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how we met, and that's how we create that collective, because we at the end were feeling like we like to learn pole dancing in studios. It's okay for us, like we like to be strippers, but we want to do something else. We want to do art. We want to go to international competition, kind of like championships and competition. This is a sport for us too. It's a way to express. Like it's just not one. You can catalog it like in one thing. It's like a lot of things together. It's really like empowerment for us. Like when we look at the mirror like 3 years ago, oh my God, I'm not the same person. Not physical, not emotionally. But yeah, and that's why I want to keep doing this, and I want to encourage people to move, to explore not only their body, but their like sensuality, their power, their strength, like how they feel about themselves, and just explore with curiosity and have fun.
Yeah. So what is next for the work that y'all are doing together?
Yeah.
So
Tell it.
yeah. Since this year that I had been doing, I want to be like doing just pole dancing and movement and performing. This is like what I want to keep doing, like in a full-time job. And when I started like stripping here, I noticed that we don't have a lot of clubs. So me and my collective, we want to try different strip clubs around like US. And one of us is from New Jersey. So we're like, oh, maybe we should try New York. And when I met Esmi, she's like, oh, I'm from New York. And I was like, okay. York, and now she is going to New York in June, and I was thinking that I wanted to go New York back and try to do like new connections now that I'm like doing more performances, and now that we have Medusa, and we are like right after the show, a friend of her were like, hey, why you don't try Medusa in New York? And we're like, why we should?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, it feels really beautiful because Hilary has, and so many people have really welcomed me here in Puerto Rico, and to like be able to like bridge community in New York and here, and connect more people doing creative work, cross-cultural, cross-community. It feels really beautiful. So there's that, and then we are bringing the Medusa project to New York, and so what that looks like is that like the community involved with that project just keeps evolving. So Hilary will still be performing, and I'll be performing, and then two friends from New York will be doing a shibari performance, and maybe another friend playing music. It's definitely still evolving, and we're nailing down dates, but we'll keep you posted.
Yeah. Okay.
I think what makes Medusa incredible is that doesn't matter where we're doing it, it always will be a community project.
Yeah.
Like if we're here, we have a lot of people doing it, involved in the process, and when we go there, we will involve other people from the community, like pole dancing community, like shibari community, dancing community, like movers and musicians, and that I think that's the incredible part about Medusa, that is like a community project.
Yeah, and I mean, just to say a little bit more about that, it's improvisational. Like I was saying, I'm coming from like a jazz singing background, so even though I like produced all the music before, I was like mixing it live and doing live vocals, and you didn't like create any like choreography.
I didn't know the order of the songs.
It was always changing.
It was always changing, so it was really organic and genuine, very like experimental too.
Yeah. Very much in the like performance art space of, you're right, like inhabiting the moment and being able to just like show up and have an experience, moving with other people and, engaging with your own creative process, like as a living thing. And I think that also invited audience members to show up in that way. So there was interactive aspects as well, where the audience members were like, bringing offerings of flowers and tucking them into like the rope that was involved in the shibari performance. And for me, I think the Medusa project will hopefully continue to evolve, engaging people in conversations about topics that are really challenging, and not just intimate violence, but intimacy in general. What does it mean to connect, right? Like, how can we keep each other safe in that and honor the vulnerability that is involved, and just showing up as yourself in expressing, in relating to people, always. I want to say also there were paintings involved that I got to paint.
Oh, okay.
Right. I also painted, so I did the music and paintings. Right.
Okay.
The paintings were hung on the walls in the gallery space. Those won't be coming with us to New York, but you do a lot of things, I do a lot of things, and it feels like new for me in some ways to just really be like stepping into and claiming all of those pieces and saying, it's the first day of Gemini season, right? As your neighborhood astrologer over here, I'm like, we don't have to limit ourselves. Yes, I am a painter and a musician and a producer and a singer and a mover and a friend and all of these like identities and ways of expressing can support each other. yeah, the final thing that I want to say about Medusa too is I think oftentimes with creativity or just inhabiting your body, like as a queer femme person especially, there's a lot of like being sexualized or projected upon, and to really like reclaim that, especially for you as like a stripper and mover, to like reclaim the narrative around like what that means, that it is many things, right? Like,
yeah.
So
if you could give someone advice that wants to do what y'all do, what advice would you give them?
I would say listen to your dreams, literally.
Yeah.
Listen to your dreams, like write them down when you wake up, engage with the material that shows up in your life. Nothing is a coincidence. I was running a group called the Astro Dream Collective. Maybe we'll reopen that.
Okay.
That encourages people to do that. And find people who support your creativity, who say, how big can you get? Let's go! Find people who, you know, are just supportive of all of the ways in which you want to express and create, and get with them. Get with people that inspire you, and try new things.
Okay.
Just, yeah.
For me, if you want to do pole dancing, just get a pole if you want and try it, have fun, and find people who can like guide you in the process, and a community that will support you. And yeah, for me, it's like do it. Like you don't have to be flexible. You don't have to be like in shape or fit. It's just like pole dancing as yoga is for everybody. So I will encourage to everybody to try it. These new things, and you learn a lot of things like how to trust your body and how to empower yourselves. Yeah, and also
so empowering for
and find community. Like it's very nice to find community and get around those people that support you and cheer you and say like, let's do this, let's practice, and let's speak and keep like consistent.
Yeah.
Also, to what you say about be around people who inspire you is very important. That's the best I can say like about community and how you like create more. And if you have a dream, if you have like that in that thought that tells you, hey, I want to try that, just trust it and do it.
Get after it.
Okay, so what do y'all want to leave the viewers with? What do you want them to know about? What they can watch out for in the future?
Well, definitely follow both of us on Instagram. My Instagram is venus.as.raccoon, right? Like Venus as a boy, the Bjork song, but Venus as raccoon.
Yes.
You can also look me up at savageastrology.com. That really is my last name.
Okay.
And I do personal sessions, which is something that I feel like really supports me continuing to do creative work, because I get to support people creatively in that way too. And more painting, more moving, more community projects with Medusa. And so look out for us if you're in New York in June. We'll be there, and I think that's it for now.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram as usualmente volando, and my collective for pole dancing is Las Libertas _. Also, if you never been in Puerto Rico and you wanna come, we hosting a camp. It's an exotic pole dancing camp. It will be in July from the 27th to the 3rd. So yeah, that's how you can find us. Hopefully you can join too.
Awesome. Okay, so my last curveball question I ask everyone is, when you go on the trip, who is your ride to the airport?
My dad.
Your dad?
My dad.
Yes, love it.
My Virgo dad.
Okay.
My Virgo Sag dad, right?
Virgo Sag
is
dad.
there any better person to support a travel situation?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel very lucky for that.
Yeah, for me are my friends. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. I always have angels around. So yeah, my friends.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been lovely, and I hope to have you back soon.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It was so fun.